All right, welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a sports betting analysis for Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, looking at the MLB slate.
Yep, 6 games on the docket.
Our goal here is to pull out those key insights, understand what's really driving the thinking behind these matchups.
Exactly, not just the picks, but the why. Give everyone that context for today's games.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, Boston Red Sox at the Baltimore Orioles. Pitching matchup is Tanner Houck for Boston, Charlie Morton for the O's. Now, this analysis we've got mentions Houck had a, quote, rocky opener. What's that signal to you?
Well, rocky opener usually means command issues, maybe some early runs. The report said, 4 hits, 3 earned runs in the first couple innings for Houck.
Oof.
Yeah, so that kind of shaky start, it can, linger, makes him potentially vulnerable, especially early.
Interesting. But on the flip side for Boston, the analysis says Red Sox bats are starting to click and specifically points out Wilyer Ebu is heating up.
That's a big one, yeah. Heating up usually means, great contact, seeing the ball well. Abreu's last 4 games, 7 for 15, couple of doubles. He's definitely locked in.
So that puts pressure on Morton.
For sure. And speaking of Morton, the analysis raises concerns about him showing signs of age. Always a storyline with veterans, isn't it?
Yeah, what would those signs actually look like on the field?
Well, for a guy like Morton, you might see a little dip in fastball velocity, maybe just a mile per hour or 2, or maybe recovery time, not bouncing back quite as fast. The report hinted his command wasn't quite as sharp last time out. That can happen with those other factors.
Okay, so pulling this together, a couple of key questions from the analysis. First, is the Orioles pitching staff becoming a liability early, given Morton and Houck's opener? Is that fair?
It's something to watch, definitely. It's still really early, right? But if Morton is showing somewhere and Houck struggles again, yeah, it could point to some early issues for Baltimore's pitching.
You see more from their other guys too, I guess. And the second question, are Boston bats a fade or a follow today? With Abreu hot and the bats clicking, what's your read?
Given Abreu's run and the questions around Morton, I'd lean towards follow. Seems more logical right now. Hot offense, potentially vulnerable pitcher.
Often adds up.
Yeah, and that lines up with the analysis's bottom line. Consensus pick, lean Red Sox.
All right, let's head over to Philly. Colorado Rockies visiting the Phillies. Antonio Senzatella for the Rocks, Taijuan Walker for the Phils.
Okay.
Big thing here is Senzatella coming back from injury. Analysis flags potential rust. What does that usually involve for a pitcher?
Rust, yeah.
Yeah.
It means even if they're healthy, the pitch sharpness, the command, just the feel for the game might be off. Takes a few starts usually. And Senzatella's been out a while with that knee, so some early inconsistency, not a surprise.
I got to say, the analyst mentioned being hesitant to bet against Philly at home, and I feel that. That park has some juice.
Oh, absolutely. Home field in baseball is real. Comfort, crowd energy, it matters, especially for a team like the Phillies with that fan base.
Right. So talking points. Can Philly build momentum off yesterday's win? Seems like the goal, always.
Always. Winning helps winning, right? Boosts morale, reinforces good habits. Coming off a W gives them that extra edge against a pitcher maybe shaking off rust.
And the other one, is there any value on the underdog? Is there a reason to back the Rockies here despite Senzatella's potential rust?
Well, anything can happen. But the analysis pick is consensus pick Phillies, which suggests the odds are likely pretty heavily favoring Philly. Finding value on Colorado would mean you need really long odds, or you strongly believe Senzatella is going to be lights out immediately, which is, risky.
Gotcha. Okay, game 3, Astros at the Twins. Hunter Brown for Houston, Joe Ryan for Minnesota. Both teams starting 2-4.
Yeah, interesting parallel start.
What does that signal for this matchup?
Probably some urgency on both sides, right? Need to get things rolling. A win here feels important early on. Could be a tight game.
The analysis noted Ryan looked sharp in his debut. Good sign for Minnesota. But Brown, it said, had solid stuff but took the L. That's rough.
It is. Sometimes you pitch well, but, defense or lack of run support gets you. Solid stuff means the talent's there, just not the results yet. For Ryan, sharp implies good command, good velocity, just effective. Positive sign for start number 2.
Okay, so the questions. Are the Twins undervalued at home here? Ryan's good start, both teams struggling. Is there a case for many?
Could be, yeah. If Ryan's debut was legit and the Twins play well at home generally, maybe those 2-4 records don't tell the whole story right now. The slight lean Twins consensus suggests the analysis sees some merit there.
And the other point, which offense breaks through first? Feels crucial when both teams need a spark.
Absolutely. Getting that early lead puts pressure on the other pitcher, sets the tone, especially for teams trying to find their rhythm. That first punch matters, psychologically too.
Okay, let's shift to the Bronx. Arizona Diamondbacks visiting the New York Yankees. Merrill Kelly for the D-backs, Carlos Carrasco making his season debut for the Yanks.
Ooh, interesting one.
The analysis really hypes up Kelly, calls him one of the best arms in early 2025. That's pretty strong praise. What's he doing?
Reports say he's hitting spots, velocity's good, secondary stuff is working really well. His first 2 starts combined 1 earned run over 12 innings.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in excellent form. Tough matchup for anyone right now.
Then you've got Carrasco making his debut.
Yeah.
The analysis calls him unpredictable. What makes a vet's first start so uncertain?
Well, several things. Could come out firing, eager to prove himself, or might need an inning or two to find that game rhythm, get the feel. Plus, workload. How stretched out is he really? Without recent game data, it's just harder to know his current form, his stamina.
The analyst mentions that internal conflict hate betting against the Yankees at home, but Kelly is just dealing right now. Classic betting spot.
Totally. It shows that tension, right? Established stuff like home field versus current hot hand. Yankees are always tough at home, but Kelly's performance is a really strong counterpoint.
So, talking points. Is Arizona one of the sneakiest bets this year? Kelly's start definitely supports that idea.
It does. A team with a truly elite starter performing like this, they can absolutely surprise people. If Kelly keeps this up, Arizona could outperform expectations. The lean Diamondbacks pick reflects that thinking.
And the other point? First 5 innings versus full game strategy.
Yeah.
Why consider that specifically here?
Well, with Kelly so strong early and Carrasco being an unknown, maybe you focus just on the first 5. Try to capitalize on Kelly's likely strong start before the bullpens get involved, or maybe before Carrasco settles in or gets tired, isolates that initial starter matchup.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, last game on the list, Cincinnati Reds at the Milwaukee Brewers. Nick Lodolo for Cincy, Nestor Cortes Jr. for the Brew Crew.
Okay.
Analysis labels this a crane flip. Why so much uncertainty?
Coin flip usually means the analysis sees it as really evenly matched, or there's just a lot of variables. Could be similar pitching talent, recent performance, maybe park factors canceling things out.
It does mention Lodolo looked solid recently. That's good for the Reds. What does looked solid usually mean?
Solid generally means good control, limiting base runners, keeping earned runs down, consistent, reliable stuff. Lodolo's last 2 starts, he went at least 6 innings, only 3 earned runs total. That fits.
Yeah, definitely solid. But the analysis counters with the Brewers at home potentially looking for a bounce back. Teams hate losing at home.
That's a real factor, that psychological edge. You don't want to lose in front of your own fans. Often means extra focus, extra determination next time out. Brewers lost a close one yesterday, so yeah, they might come out firing.
Oh, the question's here. Is Lodolo the real deal in 2025? If he keeps pitching like this, is this his breakout?
Early success is great, but you need to sustain it, right? This game, against a decent Brewers lineup, it's another test. Gives us more data points on his potential this year.
And the other one, do the Brewers find offensive rhythm tonight? If they want that bounce back, the bats need to show up.
Absolutely. Pitching keeps you in it, offense wins it. For Milwaukee to get that W, the hitters need to produce against Lodolo. That toss-up slight edge to Brewers' consensus pick might hint at an expectation that, yeah, maybe the offense does find that rhythm at home.
All right, that covers the deep dive into these 6 games. Let's do that rapid-fire recap of the consensus picks from the analysis.
Sounds good. Hit me.
Okay. Red Sox over the Orioles. Phillies taking care of the Rockies. Slight lean towards the Twins over the Astros. A lean for the Diamondbacks against the Yankees. And then that toss-up, slight edge to the Brewers over the Reds.
Got it. So, Red Sox bats versus Morton. Phillies at home, maybe value on the Twins' Ryan, Kelly's dominance for Arizona, and a tight one in Milwaukee slightly favoring the home team bounce back.
Exactly. And remember, folks, this is just one perspective for Thursday, April 3rd. The goal is giving you the why behind these leans as you look at the games.
Right. Understanding the pitcher form, the hitting trends, home field. That's what makes baseball interesting.
It really is fascinating how all these pieces fit together, isn't it? It's never just about the team records. It's the specific matchup. Who's hot, who's not.
Day-to-day adjustments.
So here's a final thought as you watch today. Beyond the starters, the hot bats, the home field we discussed, what are those under-the-radar things that could swing these games?
Good question.
Like maybe late-inning bullpen matchups.
Yeah.
How teams hit with runners in scoring position, or even just one huge defensive play that shifts everything. There's always more layers.
Yeah.
Right?